Welcome again to the Chakra House of Healing. Today's episode is Talk That Talk with Tariq Speaks. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Tariq is actually going to be doing an intake interview of me. This is something that we do when a client comes to see us for a hypnosis session or for a past life regression to find out where they are in their journey. I've been going through a very long journey in the last 5 years, and Tariq has actually helped me wrap up all of the loose ends of my journey. Not to say that there aren't some pieces that are still left, but at least I'm in a place now that I've been able to do my full forgiveness and be able to move on with a really clear mind and a clear conscience. Tariq, thanks so much for coming out again.
My pleasure.
Always love our episodes together. So, take it away.
Ready to start? So, where we left off when we have been working together previously, we were exploring notions of how your history with your family has affected you so far in your life. And we were looking at how the patterns you observed in your childhood between your parents and your siblings, how they've affected you and how you think and feel about yourself. Now, you know very well the nature of the subconscious mind, how it can record information. In fact, you've done some shows previously talking about how the subconscious mind records this information, and when it comes for time for you to make a decision about some action or something you'd like to accomplish in your life, the conscious mind has to reference what's stored in the subconscious in order to make that decision. So you've been wanting to move forward and create something rather remarkable in your healing practice to help others, but you've been finding that there are still a few obstacles that seem to be popping up every now and then.
Yes.
And we've talked about how, once you've cleared away one layer, then it potentially will cause a layer that's below that to come up to now be addressed.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes a little time for that secondary layer to make itself manifest. So what have you been noticing lately since you've kind of dealt with most of the issues surrounding your father?
I think that the issue that's still left with me is fear of moving into a relationship. As you know, and when we've talked about, I've been married twice and I've been on my own for the last 15 years. And I've had sort of relationships that have lasted a month or 2 or 3, but nothing that's long lasting, because my fear is always that someone's going to come into my life and take away everything that I've built, or they're going to take away my self-confidence, or I'm going to find myself with nothing again and destroyed like I've been in the past. And even though I know I'm not there anymore, it's still a fear that I think is still there, because even now when people ask me on a date or something, I get without even wanting to, like a wall will go up right away.
Okay. And so how do you experience that apart from the wall going up? Do you feel something happening in your body? Is there a type of thought pattern that comes to the forefront of your mind? Are there very specific emotions that you're experiencing as so how are you then dealing with these experiences? Are you allowing yourself to work through them, or are you suppressing them and just pushing them back down into the body?
Well, what I'm trying to do is say that I'm being silly and that I'm past this already, and I need to give things a chance. But part of me, my automatic reaction goes, what do you want from me? Like, what do they want from me? When they ask me out or they want to spend time with me, my first reaction is, what do you want from me? And the minute I feel that way, my new sort of spiritual self kind of takes over and says, come on, you're past this already. Like, you shouldn't be feeling like this anymore. And you should give this person a chance, and you need to let down those walls and not think the way that you used to think. So logically, I think I'm thinking about it the right way. And I start going out on that date and I start taking that time, but then I start saying, oh no, I start finding all kinds of things wrong with them so that I don't have to commit myself.
See, there are a number of things you said there that kind of make me want to pause and really pay attention to what's happening. First of all, if you have a response after someone asks you out, and that response is telling you that there's something within you that still feels uncomfortable with the notion of perhaps developing a relationship with someone, for you to say that's silly is literally telling that part of yourself that it's being silly when this part of yourself
I
has
know,
something
and
valid.
I've thought about that too, and I thought, is this my subconscious mind because I listen to it so much now. And is it just saying this person is not the right person for you? So I've actually had that thought process.
Right.
But at the same time, I think, yes, that is it. But then I'm saying, am I always using this as the excuse? Is it always that it's the wrong person? Or is it something that I'm just saying to myself to protect myself?
Now, that could be true. Both aspects of that could be true. It could be that you are being silly and allowing a part of yourself that has suffered from the experiences of your childhood to create this fear within you, and then what you've discovered and the strength you have created through the journey you've done so far is also present there within yourself. Remember, we have what we call subpersonalities. So now you have created another aspect of your personality that is stronger and that feels capable and is confident, but perhaps you still have some aspect of that inner child that is still wounded and that still needs some nurture and some love and affection. In the work we've done so far, we focus primarily on your relationship with your father, and we've not really touched on what has happened with your mother.
Right.
And so, looking at the dynamics between your parents, and from what you've told me, you do have a few challenges that still are present with your mom. And it may be that until you have come to a point where you've resolved those challenges, this part of you that's still wounded may not be ready to embrace a new relationship, perhaps risking hurt again.
I think what happens, and I think that a lot of other people that get, that have sessions that try and get help dealing with their parents. My relationship with my parents was very interesting in the sense that my parents loved me very, very much. They loved me very, very much. And the things that they did to me, I don't believe that they did them to me with a bad intention.
Absolutely not.
So sometimes the things that I need to do to be able to react to my mother, she may not like. And I still have that feeling of not wanting to hurt her. So I tolerate. I put up with what she's doing and what she's saying because I think, she's my mother. She's not going to change. I have to be the one that changes. I'll just stay quiet. But meanwhile, when I stay quiet, my insides just, I don't know what to say. It's everything feels like it's constricting because I feel like how I'm dealing with her is against all of the healing that I've done, and I'm not being true to myself. But to be true to myself, I'm going to hurt her, and I don't want to do that.
Isn't remaining quiet the way you've always responded to your mother in the past?
Not always. Sometimes it would get very explosive.
Well, that's what I mean. In the past, from what I remember in our conversations, you would hold yourself back, and keep repressing and pushing down. And then it would explode. And then it would explode. So perhaps what you need to do is, when a situation arises with your mother and you need to address it, you address it in that moment. And maybe what you need to do to help you address it in that moment without creating an explosive situation is to do some more work to implant in the subconscious mind a sense of strength, of compassion, of understanding. Perhaps even going through an exercise where you put yourself in her shoes so you can observe, how she has lived her life. Now, I know you know what she's gone through intellectually.
Yes.
But you have to remember.
I know what she's gone through emotionally too. I was there.
But have you felt it? And have you allowed yourself to fully immerse yourself into that?
I felt it in a different way. Me and my mom are very different people, where I'm very straight and direct about how I feel and don't really care what anybody else thinks. My mother is very much concerned how we appear on the outside. So in that way, we've had a lot of our heads knock a lot because I'm always like, I don't care what they think. And she'll be, but she does. And I have to put myself in a place of caring what the neighbors think, and I really don't. So I find it hard in some cases to do what you're asking, and I know that I need to because she's, what now? Like my mother, I'm 50, my mother's 70. She's not going to change in her ways. She's set. And I have to change in the ways that I deal with her in a way that I'm still comfortable with, without hurting her.
But it sounds like what you're doing there in terms of putting yourself into her position is a rational exercise. And you have to remember that what drives us are the emotions. And so you need to do an exercise or go through a process where you are allowing yourself to have this awareness at the level of emotion without any critical thought kind of telling you what you should, and that's a word we need to avoid. Should. I should feel this way, I should do this, or should not do this. Should not exist in your vocabulary when you're going through these types of exercises. And so perhaps allowing yourself to fully inhabit your mother's psyche by going through maybe a psychodrama with hypnosis, or maybe a multi-generational healing process where you can observe what she's gone through. Because you have to remember, not only are you of different generations, but you're also of different cultural contexts.
Right.
You grew up in a North American context, she grew up in an Asian context. And so the ideologies that she has and that she holds dear and that her truths are very different from yours. And you know, when you said earlier that you don't believe that your parents did the things they did to hurt you, you're right. You know, they didn't get up in the morning and think, okay, how can I hurt Ayse today and make her life a living
Right.
hell? They were doing what they thought was in your best interest, not realizing that you are a very different person and you're growing up in a very different context, and how you are going to internalize what they're doing will be very different. Now remember, when you are a child, you don't have that critical filter of the conscious mind. Your subconscious is just purely recording the data, recording the information. And so once you've created this foundation of insecurity, of fear, of uncertainty, of expecting things to go horribly wrong based on what you've observed, when you are then presented with a situation where things could actually be brilliant for you, that fear is there and it is waiting to manifest.
Right.
So by allowing yourself to go into a situation where you are seeing through your mother's eyes, you're thinking with her mind, feeling with her heart, and really inhabiting that, you can definitely heal the rift that has been created since childhood between you and your mother. And you're not healing this at the logical, intellectual level, you're healing this at the emotional level. The multi-generational healing process that we do can not only help you heal, but it can also heal your mother. Because this is an energetic exercise that we're doing where we're connecting to the morphogenetic fields through the subconscious
Right.
and superconscious minds. You know that you can affect other people's
So
energy.
what you're saying is just what you're saying is us doing this multi-generational
healing.
I'm going to be doing it, but
Right.
because I'm healing it, I'm also healing my mother.
Right, and so this is what happens. Let's say you were just asked out on a date and it creates within you this fear. So what we would do is we would take you into that situation and replicate that while you're in trance, while you're in hypnosis, and observe the feeling that comes up. We'll use that feeling to then take you back to a situation where you were with your mother
Right.
as an adult, and this feeling has been presented to you. Once we've been able to understand that, we actually then have you transfer your consciousness to hers and observe how and when she had this exact same feeling
Okay.
as an adult. Once you've been able to identify that, we then regress you as your mother back to her childhood, and there you are able to understand what created this intention in her, or this propensity in her to react in this way. We then do inner child healing on your mother, and we come back and we do healing on your mother as an adult, and then we bring you back into your consciousness where we then heal your inner child and then the current you. This is something we did in the past life and the interlife process, and we focused solely on your father.
Right.
But this process that we're doing now is more, it doesn't necessarily have to go into past life or the interlife. It's focused on your life here and now in this moment, and it depends on what you're dealing with. So I feel that that's your next step to continue your healing journey.
You know me, I'm up for it. I'm
So-
always looking for healing, and I always, I've made a lot of strides working with you. So, whenever you're ready, I'm ready. So it's a good thing, because I really want this to end. I really want these feelings to end.
But also realize that this is part of your journey in a greater spiritual context. So rather than trying to push it aside, let it be a part of your journey, and let it be a source of wisdom that allows you not only to heal yourself, but then to help you heal others in your own healing practice.
Right.
The wounded healer.
The wounded healer, absolutely. Yep, I hear you, for sure.
So all you need to decide now is what it is you wish to accomplish, when you'd like to start, and we take the next steps.
And then this leads, of course, to the dealing with men.
Well, that will be a different session altogether. So yeah, I mean, just think about it. Observe, the patterns of how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and what you are doing when you are experiencing these walls that come up, and then we'll get started.
And it has to happen. Like, we will get started on it, and it does need to happen, because I think that what people don't realize is they live with these feelings, And there is a way to get past them, and there is a way to heal, and I don't know that people really understand that. And I think that me going through this and talking about it with others is a way for them to see that you don't have to live with this pain, and you don't have to live with things that are upsetting you, and there are ways to deal with it, even if that other person doesn't want to participate or cannot participate, or for whatever reason will not participate in that healing process with you.
That's right. And it's not just about moving past it, though. It's about integrating it back into yourself as a new energy, as a different energy that can support you.
Definitely. I want to thank you today for coming out to the Chakra House of Healing. I want to thank you, Tariq, for coming and talking to me today. And I would like us to continue this definitely on our other episodes. Thank you again for coming to the Chakra House of Healing. You can reach me at www.thechakrahouseofhealing.com, 647-559-3674. Please contact me with any questions about our episode today. Tariq, how can people contact you?
Well, my pleasure is always being here. And to reach me, you can reach me at OntarioHypnosisCenter.com, or you can call telephone number 416-489-0333.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you all know how to contact me, and please do. And I can't wait to see you again on our next episode. Come out, send me emails, let me know what you want to hear about, any comments about the show today. Thank you again. I'm very grateful that you're here.